I think it's important to talk about, first and foremost, how do you unlock this guy? I think that's the big question that everybody has. There's been some vagueness about that. Well, the way we're going to do it is if you have a character already in World of Warcraft of a certain level, which will most likely be a level 70 character, we will unlock Death Knight character creation for those players across their account. So they can make a Death Knight on any server they want, one per server, so that way all your bank mules aren't level 55 Death Knights. And create your Death Knight at that point. To date, we haven't limited what races they can be. In fact, we think it's cool if you could be any race as a Death Knight. We're going to start the Death Knight at level 55, so you've unlocked it by achieving 70. You'll log into a 55 character and basically get a starting experience that explains the story of the Death Knight and how you came to be. Why are you a Death Knight? And as part of that starting experience, we'll also make sure that you get some good gear, that you get your epic ground mount. The Death Knight will start right away with his normal level 40 mount. And then we'll also teach you some of your spells and abilities and things like runic power and your rune system.
So runic power is something that you gain as you use your abilities. Whenever you're not in combat, it decreases or bleeds away a lot like rage does right now. So you're definitely incentivized to use your runic power fairly often. On the various runes, you've got your unholy, your frost, and your blood runes, and the configuration that you choose will just effectively indicate what spells you can use more often and what spells you can use less often.
So obviously a great key to the Death Knight was that he feel very distinct and unique. We wanted the Death Knight to also serve a couple of different roles. We wanted him to be able to stand in as a tank when needed and also provide DPS from a melee point of view when needed. He's a little bit of a mix between pure melee and caster. He does have some spells that he can cast, such as Death and Decay, which is a targeted area damage spell, basically, or Army of the Dead, which rains down a whole army of ghouls that will fight along your side for a little bit. Well, the Death Knight has one of the coolest spells that I think we've put in the game yet, and that's Raise Dead. So it's got a number of uses. One, if you're out there soloing by yourself and you're killing things, you're out in Northerend, let's say you're killing Vrykul, and one falls dead at your feet, you can raise a fallen ghoul out of that Vrykul's corpse, and that ghoul becomes a temporary guardian that will travel with you, fight things with you. He has a number of abilities that he can do. But even cooler than that as a mechanic, if you're traveling with a friend, let's say you're in the arena, or you're doing a raid, you're in Naxxramas fighting, and one of your companions dies, you can cast the Raise Dead spell on that person. It will kind of feel like a soulstone resurrection of that person. They'll get a dialogue box that says, such and such Death Knight has chosen you to rise from the dead, and then you have a choice of whether you want to accept it or not. If you accept it, you don't come back as your character, but you temporarily come back as that ghoul with a whole action bar full of abilities that you then get to participate in. And some of them are more defensive, some of them are more offensive, so it's almost like a combat resurrection but with a new twist on it.
You know, someone asked me a while back, what is it going to be like when you're in your first raid and you've got one healer and 24 Death Knights? That's not going to happen any more than you have, 24 rogues or 24 warriors. We chose Death Knight, and we chose it to be kind of a combination tank damage dealer because we felt like there was a shortage of tanks in the game. We felt like the game could use another tanking class. We also designed the class to be specifically oriented around tanking spellcaster mobs the best. So, we'll have encounters in the game that are ideally suited for Death Knight to tank, but warriors and druids can still tank just as well. So right now we have certain encounters that a druid is better for, certain encounters that paladin is better for, certain encounters that a warrior is better for. There'll be another type of encounter which is more suitable for a Death Knight. But the other classes can still be successful.
Well, we're working on Wrath of the Lich King. It's going to come out for PCs and Macintosh, and we don't currently have a release date, but we're working as hard as we can to get it out as soon as possible.